Good evening, Trinidad and Tobago. Welcome to another edition of Scoreboard here on ICNTT. It's always a pleasure to be here every Tuesday evening between the hours of 8 to 9, where we bring you something relevant in sport in Trinidad and Tobago. Before I get into tonight's program, I just want to say a big congratulations to the Club Sando under 17 footballers. They accomplished the victory yesterday over Jabaloti at the Mani Ramjan Stadium, where they won the under 17 division. So again, to Eddie Dean and the whole committee, well done. Tonight we want to talk cycling. Cycling has been in the news for, I wouldn't say this year, but a couple of years now. Our cyclists has been doing a tremendous job outside there, and we need to give them that recognition and to highlight their performance. That's why I've brought two people here who will be talking a bit about an event that is supposed to be coming up shortly, and also to talk about one of our female outstanding athletes who is doing wonders overseas. First of all, let me introduce Mr. Alexander Smith, who is on the organizing committee. Mr. Smith, it's a pleasure. Welcome to ACTN.
Thank you very much.
And the organizer, president, head coach, Desmond Roberts. It's a pleasure.
See me. Thank you for having us here.
Now, before we get into your main attraction, which is your top female cyclist, Tennille Campbell, let's talk a bit about the Fire on Wheels 2019. What is happening with that event right now?
Well, first of all, unfortunately, we have to push the event back to September. Okay. Date to be announced. And the reason for that is because of the clash with T-Town. That's one. T-Town moved the event a week further. Mm-hmm. So that created some issues with that. And then two, with the cycling village room is not readily available to have such event at that altitude.
Issue with the air conditioning?
With the air conditioning. From the information we got, they started working on it, and it should be ready for the date that you're looking to have the event in Trinidad. And the date you're looking to choose will be just before the closing of the points and the World Cup. The closing of the accumulated points for this year is on the 17th of September. So we're looking around close to that time, so people could be looking to get points who did not accumulate the points for the World Cup.
That way you might get more people wanting to come in.
Yeah, exactly. Right. And the event last year, that we had last year, was 6 or 7 people work on the event. Mr. Smith, myself, Ian Thomas, Delano White, DeAndre Daniel, to name a few. We had a small compact unit that really worked on this event. We had some support from Gary Acosta in the background, and also from Mr. Hartwell, you know, also from the background. So they gave us some support and some insight how to move forward. And the event was very successful last year, which was the first time we hosted the event at that altitude. And when the UCI come and just show me the points, we got a 98% pass mark.
That's good.
Hence the reason we was upgraded to Class 1. So this event now is a premier event in Trinidad and Tobago. Also for the sporting industry, for the cyclists. So you could get good quality cycling in the country, especially track cycling. So our cyclists will go up against quality cyclists coming from other parts of the world.
Because when I first heard about the event and I heard that it might be in a Rima Village Road, I said, nah, not after the first year in one of the premier venues to go now. Nothing wrong with the Arima track, because I mean that's what we had all the time.
Yeah.
But if you have a premier event, right? I mean, and you want to get cyclists to come to the top cyclists, I mean, you have to put it in a premier venue.
Yeah.
Well, I guess Mr. Smith will tell me a bit about his role and function, and if this postponement will benefit and give you all more time in which to get the event even to the 100% instead of 98.
Well, naturally it will. Well, firstly, let me thank you for the opportunity of having this forum to firstly inform the public that the event is indeed postponed from the 1st and 2nd of June to a date to be announced in September.
Okay.
As Mr. Roberts rightly said, we would like to have it just before the window closes for Class 1 qualifiers for the points for the Olympics and for the World Championships. It gives us an advantage, yes. It gives us more preparation time. Not that we would not have been prepared for the 1st and 2nd. We actually were. We were well on stream. But hearing that there is this opportunity for us to go back at the original venue, the world-class venue, the one of only just 3 in the Western Hemisphere, this type of world-class facility that we have in Couva. I mean, we said, hey, let's go for it. Let's postpone it here and have a chat with our stakeholders and see if we can, in fact, get that venue and attract more cyclists. Not just because of the points they're going to get, but cyclists are always willing to come down to Couva. There are those who have not ridden here as yet, and they are inquiring as to when they can get this opportunity. And Fire on Wheels UCI Class 1 event presents them with a chance to do so.
Before the cancellation, who are some of the countries that have already accepted the invitation to come down? Who would have been here?
Well, Canada, they have had their team, Chile, Jamaica, well, all the Caribbean islands really, Jamaica, Barbados, Dominican Republic, Guatemala, Mexico, most of the countries in the West. There was a rider from Italy. You had some were coming in from Holland. Okay. Yeah, Denmark, and you have these countries. Any other? Argentina, yes. Yeah. So you had all these countries and more, and the way it goes in cycling, I realized that the last 3 weeks are very crucial. That's when most of them make up their mind, because they would have been looking for support, assistance in some manner within their jurisdiction before, and it's usually like 2 to 3 weeks before the event when they will have the final word. Well, look, okay, we will support you, go ahead. So we had the commitment from those that I mentioned and a few more, and then we had ifs. Well, okay, we're going to be here, but we will tell you in like 2 weeks' time. Okay. We did announce last week on the international media, well, to the various jurisdictions, that the event was in fact cancelled. So we haven't heard from them since, but we have the commitment from most of them that they will be back in September. Okay. Yeah.
How do you all manage to pull off an event like this, especially where the climate in Trinidad and Tobago, finance, and all these different things are major issue to some organization? And I'm listening here that you all had Argentina, Holland, all these top countries. How do you all manage to put on an event and of this caliber and and get it going? Because if you go back to the first one that you all had, it was international, it was well done, and we have events here that, people complaining, lack of money. And I want people to understand that this event was not postponed because of the lack of funding or anything. That's what we need, because first thing people might say, oh, you didn't get enough money, and it was not, viewers, it was not cancelled because of lack of funding.
Well, let me say 2 things. The risk in having it in Arima, for people to pay the airfare to come to Trinidad for a 2-day event, which is a tight schedule. The weather is one, right? Because I might get here and next year the weather hamper the whole thing. And we did not wanted that to happen. Right? I see Arima Velodrome is a track that we are accustomed using over the years, and so on and whatnot. Plus the commute from Couva to because our main hotel that we use for the cyclists is Metro Hotel in Couva.
Yeah.
Right? So the commute from Couva to Arima and back would have been somewhat hectic for the cyclists. So we had to review the whole thing and go back to the drawing board and say, look, based on the information we get moving forward, with the cycling center, we decided to cancel and move it back. And again, I mentioned before, also with Titong, the Couva Chamber was very much instrumental last year with supporting us. When we went to them last year, so Smith, who had a meeting with them, and he could talk more about that. And they told him with open arms that they welcome us visiting them because nobody never really went to them to present, them taking part or being part of that thing in Couva, which is right in their backyard. So we got a lot of support from the Couva Chamber, also the MP for Couva. We got a lot of support from him also. We got a lot of support from the sports company of Trinidad and Tobago. And we're still getting support from the sports company of Trinidad and Tobago, the Ministry of Sports. They're very instrumental in supporting us with this event because they see the big picture down the road for the event. So we don't want to have the event in June in Arima and it end up to be a failure.
Yes.
In my mind.
Especially coming off the first.
Exactly. So in my mind and with the committee mind, let us make sure that we have a quality event and continue to have a quality event. And that's, it's in a nutshell. But, Mr. Speaker could elaborate more on the Couva support that we got from the Couva businessmen.
Okay.
Yeah. The Couva Point Lisa's Chamber of Commerce, as Mr. Roberts said, they have been quite supportive. It comprises a number of businessmen in the particular area, and we found it fit to include them in the organization because it's their backyard. And this is a major tourism thrust, we think. It's Couva. Couva is now the center of sport. This is Trinidad and Tobago, and within Trinidad and Tobago, we have no other area where you have a cycling velodrome, an aquatic center, a track and field, international track, and now you have football all around. The government of Trinidad and Tobago, I'm sure, in having a little chat with persons from the Tourism Development Corporation, I think it is, they were saying that, look, this is wonderful in terms of tourism, sport tourism. And that's the way we sold it to the Chamber of Commerce. They are seeing an opportunity, and we are also seeing an opportunity. What I must say, though, you asked how could we pull off an event like this? We think it was smart planning. We were wondering why nobody ever did it before. If you notice, it's the first, last year, at the first edition, it would have been the first time a private entity would have had a full Class 2 event. Now you're going to have this year, the first year, a private entity is going to promote a full Class 1 event. Now, why a Class 2, why a Class 1 event? Why was it lying there so long? And it's easy. This is where the cyclists are motivated for their own advancement. You have a Class 2 event, you get a certain number of points to go towards your participation in major cycling activity. You have Class 1, you get more points. So you are motivated on your own. The promoters don't have to do much in terms of getting the cyclists here. They are attracted for their own volition, right? So that's one. And then you have strategic partnerships. We think the Ministry of Sport, the Sports Company of Trinidad and Tobago, we thank them for their involvement. Metro Hotel, one of our major stakeholders, Mr. Mukesh Ram Singh, he has been very much like a part of the organizing committee, and we thank him for such. We have businesses who are coming on stream. They have given their commitment. We'll be going back to them so that they can come on board. Okay. Because we need the support of the business community. Even within the Couva Chamber of Commerce, we still have some work to do with them, but we very much appreciate their support so far.
I think it's a great initiative, and especially where everything is happening in the hub of sports in Couva right now. I think, as you said, tourism is something that in sport, and I think I heard the Minister of Sports spoke on that many times about tourism in sports. I think that could be one of our big money earner if it's done properly.
That's right.
And I'm looking at the event last year that you all did, and they say that every time you do something, you build on it. So if last year was that successful, I'm sure that this year is going to be twice, successful. We need to take a break. When we come back, I want to touch a bit about on your cyclist who is creating waves abroad. That's Tennille Campbell.
Good, beautiful.
You guys will be right back after the short break.
You're now changing your question.
What I would say, Steve, is this.
My first question was, roll back the tape.
I made my debut for Crystal Palace against Tottenham Hotspur.
My responsibility was to get the ball and make things happen offensively.
All the time we played together, I've always been the decoy.
Welcome to Field of Dreams on ACTN. My name is Steve David, and I'm your host.
Good evening, Trinidad. Welcome to another edition of Scoreboard here on ACT, and it's always a pleasure to be in your company every Tuesday evening between the hours of 8 and 9.
Welcome to the new season of Football in 101. I am your host, Joshua De Matos.
Well, it's time for your weekly football news update. I love you, Messi.
Fortunately,
Kiss the badge, kiss the badge. Oh.
What's that?
Welcome to this edition of the interview, and as you can see, I'm not alone on the set. I have Marcus, a Liverpool fan, and I have Shaquille.
Welcome back, viewers. Welcome back to Scoreboard here on ACTN. Before we took the break, Desmond, I said that we need to talk about your cyclist, Tennille Campbell. Now, I remember before Tennille left on that break to go on that stint, both of you all were here when you spoke about what you expect of her and what she's likely to accomplish. Now, seeing all that has transpired since she has left these shores, are you satisfied? And what are you looking forward to from her in the future?
Okay, first of all, I must say I was very satisfied with her performance. And one of the most important things is for UCI requesting Tennille to be back in UCI this year on a one-year contract with a semi-pro team that UCI.
Yeah, because not continue, because when she went the first time, it was for 6 months or something like that.
For 6 months.
Right, and you said based on her performance, they'll call her back.
They'll call her back. Right. So that in itself showed that the coach and manager of the UCI squad see the potential in her. I think one of the things they told her at one time that she's very powerful because they're giving her some work to do, and that is based on I must comment Mr. Elijah Green, who knew her from young in cycling coming up, and give her some certain drills to do and so on and whatnot. So he has a very important part to play in her upbringing and development in cycling. So when she came back to Trinidad in October, before she left UCI, she told me that they approached her on for a one-year contract. I said, if you get a one-year contract, I think you should take it, because it makes no sense to stay in Trinidad, because if you stay in Trinidad, it will be just downhill. Yeah. So we got the contract, we review it, got a lawyer to review it. Everything was above board, and I told her sign the contract and send it back. You know, if you really want to make it the Olympic, that's your only choice you have to go back to UCI, train with a semi-pro team up there, which UCI are now developed. And now she is the leader, she's the sprinter for the team, the main sprinter for that squad in UCI. You know, so I'm very satisfied with her performance. The thing is, I wanted to achieve a goal to qualify for the Olympics, and I would not stop until she really achieved that goal. Because I know that is something that she really wants to do to make it to the Olympics. You know, so that is the area that I'm looking at for her to qualify for the 2020 Olympics.
As her local coach, what part do you still play in her development? Because I know she's abroad there, she has the coach across there, but as her local coach, what part and how do you still communicate with her to keep her, you know, where you want her to be? Because, I mean, she has been with you for some time, and you would have set a standard where you want her to go, that she doesn't go, you know, off that course.
Right. So we communicate a lot on WhatsApp, but I would not interfere with what the coaches are doing up there at UCI. I would not interfere with that. I mean, always when she came down to Mexico, I will not change, and that is one of the policy. You will not change what somebody is doing. Because once you start doing that, you start to create one friction. Two, you start to upset the flow of things with the cyclists. So as she's up there, she work with the coach up there, and that's it. You know, I'm a manager in Trinidad, and I would not advise her to do anything different from what they are.
Because you're seeing the progress.
You're seeing the progress.
Yeah.
Now, if she come to me and say, well, you know, maybe the setting is not correct, I'll probably look at it. Mostly I'll communicate with Elijah, and I might give her some tips, you know, but not go into depth with that, because again, as I mentioned before, you don't want to interrupt the flow of things that are going on. For instance, Thailand, when she did the race in Thailand, when she came third on the first stage, I saw the error was, but I never mentioned it to her.
Okay.
And I sure her coach probably saw that. You know, I mentioned it to her mom that I saw the error was. And I told her mother, before that Thailand tour finish, she's going to pull off her stage. I wasn't expecting it on the second stage, you know. And so, boom, she won the second stage, and then I was very close to win the third stage, which she could have pulled off the top winning stage overall. You know, so I knew she was looking forward to that. But all in all, they're doing a job, and I will not interfere with it.
Okay. When the one-year contract is up, what's the next step for her?
Well, hopefully, when I went through it, there's a possibility during this time here, based on her performance, she could get a pro contract. If she get a pro contract, I tell her, you know, take the pro contract, you know, and you know, go for it. Because if you're looking to make this your career in your peak now, and you get the opportunity, in the agreement there's nothing to stop her from going further into a pro contract. You just have to give her a what-not notice for that. The hurtful thing, which I would like the public to know, that when she was carried to go back to Scotland, to Switzerland for the thing, she nearly did not make it back to Switzerland. And I want the public to know this without any malice to anybody, but unfair to cyclists. Now, I wouldn't discuss these things with the cyclists because they focus on the event. When she went to the World Championship, because the reason for going to UCI last year was to represent Trinidad and Tobago in the World Championship. I was selected as the manager to go up at the World Championship. I was in 2018 in Austria. I did my budget 17, never got no feedback. So UCI decided, well, they will handle from Switzerland to Austria and whatnot for to go and take part in the World Championship. I got an email from the Trinidad and Tobago Cycling Federation that if PSL do not pay for Tinel trip to go to represent Trinidad and Tobago at the World Championship in Australia, she would not be going.
What uniform she wore when she went to the event?
Red white, and black. Good? So, spoke to the media discussion, and it sent reply to an email stating it will be sorted. It was 1 or 2 days before the registration closed off. That is when they finally submit the registration for Tini to go. Came back to Trinidad, and when she came back to Trinidad, got selected to go up. The president of the Trinidad and Tobago Cycling Federation, and I have all the trailing emails, sent an email stating that she would not go back. The cost at the UCI for Tinil from Austria, from Switzerland to Austria and back, was it 6,000 TT? 6 or 9,000 TT dollars to pay. So they started pressure us now to pay this money. So we are asking, well, where is the supporting documents, etc. I said, I don't want to go through a long story, but the long and short of it is, if Perfection Services Limited did not pay that 6 or 7 or 9,000 TT dollars back to the Federation, Tini would not have been back in Switzerland today. But it have to be endorsed by the president of the Trinidad and Tobago Cycling Federation. I want to make that absolutely clear. People don't know the history. So we also pay that money back to the Federation for a cyclist who is representing.
But why was that done? What was the reason, the logic behind they not paying and you all have to pay?
Well, every time I get an email is that they have no money to send cyclists nowhere. Right? Coming up to this last event that we went to Mexico, first email I got, cyclists will be selected, but they'll be self-funded. So we did a letter, we sent it to the Ministry of Sports, because if you are self-funded, well, good. So we sent it to the Ministry of Sports. One of the department responded, you have to go through the protocol, which I have no problem with that. Went through the protocol, that got delayed. Mr. Aaron Hartwell also got involved with part of his budget that he had from one of the last championship we went to. And he decided to put that budget to help fund the team to go up. Because we're looking at team chances to qualify for the Olympic. The Mexico event was very important.
Yeah.
Right? I recommend that she get into Mexico a week or 2 weeks before the event because you're looking at high altitude.
Yeah, to climatize.
To climatize and whatnot. We got in the Friday afternoon. Right, so that's Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday. I think Wednesday was the time trial. Right, so not enough time to climatize to the thing. Plus when she reached up, she had the cold. So this in itself starting to get me and our committee a little frustrated and fed up with the whole situation. Right? Because here's a cyclist that could represent red, white, and black, qualify for the Olympic, make the country proud, but where is the support, not just from the TDCF, from the Federation? I must say, I must thank the Ministry of Sports for getting involved technically to make sure that she went up there and, to Mexico. I must thank them for that. I must thank also Mr. Hartwell for also playing a part in getting us up there in Mexico. But it is not an easy road.
We'd like to make an appeal to corporate Trinidad and Tobago, though.
I was just about to say that.
Yeah, we have made several appeals. We have sent proposals to different corporate entities to really come on board to assist Tennille Campbell. If you were to look at how phenomenal Tennille Campbell is, if you were to look, for example, at the bronze medal she won at that road race, the Pan Am Road Championships that was just completed in Hidalgo, Mexico. This event is considered a team event, right? You have individuals registered for the event, even individuals riding, but say, for example, Mexico, they may have about whatever is the full complement they are supposed to have. And Trinidad and Tobago had one representative, that was Tennille Campbell.
Also, Tyler Cole, forget Tyler Cole.
Yeah, but for the event, that particular event, it was Tennille Campbell alone. And that's what I want to emphasize. The other countries, they had teams. So you had, over those various kilometers they would have had to ride, you would have had relax and overload, you would have different cyclists going to the front, and they would take the strain, and then different would relax. She had to go all the time because she was alone. And there it was, she was able to attain a bronze medal. That is the quality of the athlete we are dealing with. Trinidad and Tobago, corporate Trinidad and Tobago, this is an investment that would bear fruit. You will get your return on investment, surely, because Tennille Campbell will make it to the Olympics. With your assistance, the sky is the limit. So please come on board for Tennille.
You might as well say, if we have so many businesses in Trinidad and Tobago, if one business come out and say, well, I'm adopting this sportsman or this sportswoman, and I'm going to use this person as a face for my business, right? No, you're doing a lot because you're sending the cyclists on a journey that they have chosen to pursue their career. Then you have them now. Okay, let me just make a quick comparison. I was looking at the IPL, right? And to me, every advertisement that I saw during the IPL matches are members of the Indian cricket team. How many ads we see on our media houses represent our athletes, right? And we have athletes who, they are good looking, they can speak well, and they have accomplished a lot. Why can we not have a Tennille Campbell maybe doing an ad for one of the big companies, right? That way, you have a face in the public. So people will, a lot of people sometimes really don't even know who is Tyler Cole. I've never seen before. And
exactly.
Right? Because when they are on the field taking part in the sport event, right? Yes, you know Tyler Cole, but are you seeing that picture that you understand? And that's what I'm saying. If every business here adopts a sportsman or a woman and invests in them, and the problem is when you get back a tax break, so now you're not losing anything.
Exactly, and Tennille,
right? And when I looked at that IPL, I see Dhoni and this one every 2 minutes is an ad with them.
Yep, they show you how. And Tennille is the perfect brand ambassador. She performs well out there, as everybody knows. Off the track, off the road, Tennille is a great role model. She's well-spoken, well-educated. She hasn't gotten in any trouble. She's non-controversial. You know, it's this sort of a marketing wonder that any corporate entity would desire.
Yes, that's something I can't come to terms with. And I always say that, you know, we can either break our athletes or make them.
That's right.
You understand? And a lot of our athletes go and they represent us well, and when they come back and they retire, you know, they have to hustle just like the ordinary person, you know, to get a job or to get something. We're supposed to be appreciating, you know, our sportsmen and women. And sometimes when you see a person leaves and go abroad, I don't think sometimes too much is that they want to go abroad, you know, because what will they get?
The opportunities.
Nothing. Right? They won't get anything. So I think we need to start to appreciate our own. Don't just wait for them. I remember when Keishon Walker won the gold medal, right? The amount of people in the airport. But when Keishon was in the senior champs, it's about 500 people.
500 people.
Right? And out of the 500, I think 250 was family and yes, right? But when he come back with the thing now, the whole the airport full.
Everybody knows Keishon.
Right? Yeah. After when he started suffering injuries, people started to discard him. Right? So we have a mentality that instead of we uplift, we break our sportsmen. And that is the problem that I face right now. But we need to take a break. Am I seeing that my director is telling me, okay, we have about 5 minutes remaining on this segment. Again, we want the public to know that the event has been pushed back to September. and it's not because of finance, it's because of other issues that arise. So the last 5 minutes is yours. Take this opportunity and, you know, talk to Trinidad and Tobago.
Yeah, at this point, we'd also like to mention one of our corporate support, Margin Financial, which is run by Marcus Gedari.
Okay, yeah.
He has been very supportive, and we are asking more of corporate Trinidad and Tobago to come on board, even outside of Trinidad and Tobago. This is an international event, ladies and gentlemen. You're gonna have cyclists coming in here from all over the world, because the date that we are gonna put it in, it's gonna be the last stop for World Championships, for Olympics. If you wanna qualify for any of these events, this is the last stop, Trinidad and Tobago at Fire on Wheels. So Fire on Wheels, look out for it. PSL Fire on Wheels. It's on. It's a UCI Class 1 event. The first time it's happening in the Caribbean. So be here.
Mr. Roberts, any closing comments?
Yeah. First, I want to thank you all for inviting us here today. That's one. And also, I want to thank the management team who was together me in Mexico. Mr. Cole, Tinto was a mechanic, was very instrumental also in encouraging Tinil to catch that main bunch to get that third place. He was very instrumental in that because he was in the vehicle, and because of the logistics, we was on the road making sure she get feed and so on.
Yeah.
So I want to thank that team. We had a good team of the three of us. We had a good team up there, and I want to thank them for the support that was given during that tenure. For Fire on Wheels, we're looking forward to that in September. It will be a great show. We want people to come on board. We want people to support it. And this will be a continuing event annually for the Fire on Wheels. And again, thank all the supporters and supporters who looking to come on board for Fire on Wheels. I want to thank them in advance for the support.
Mr. Roberts?
Thank you again.
Mr. Smith? It was a pleasure.
Thank you.
And I'm sure that Fire on Wheels 2019 in September is going to be a great success.
Thank you. It will be.
Yeah. Viewers, we'll be right back. And when we get back, we'll be talking mountain bikes, so stay tuned.
You're now changing your question.
What I would say, Steve, is this.
My first question was, and roll back that tape.
I made my debut for Crystal Palace against Tottenham Hotspur.
My responsibility was to get the ball and make things happen offensively.
You know, all the time we played together, I've always been the decoy.
Welcome to Field of Dreams on ICNTT. My name is Steve David, and I'm your host.
Good evening, Trinidad and Tobago. Welcome to another edition of Scoreboard here on ACT, and it's always a pleasure to be in your company every Tuesday evening between the hours of 8 and 9.
Welcome to the new season of Football 101. I am your host, Joshua De Matos.
Well, it's time for your weekly football news update. I love you, Messi.
Unfortunately,
Kiss the badge, kiss the badge. Oh. What's that? Welcome to this edition of the interview, and as you can see, I'm not alone on the set. I have Marcus, a Liverpool fan, and I have Shakir.
Welcome back, viewers. Welcome back to Scoreboard here on ACT, and as we continue our Scoreboard edition. Joining me on set here are two members from the Trailblazers Mountain Bike Club, and they have a major event coming up this Sunday, the 26th actually, yes, the 26th at Palmis, and they're here to tell us a bit more. Let me introduce to you, first of all, Derek Boris, the president of the club. Derek, it's a pleasure.
Same here.
And Kenny Christopher, the PRO.
Yes.
the man who does all the begging for monies and for trophies and all these different things.
On the contrary, the president is doing a lot of that.
All right, but the PRO is supposed to be doing that, eh? Well, gentlemen, let's talk a bit about, before we touch on the event this Sunday, let's talk a bit about Trailblazers. Trailblazers have been around for as long as I could remember.
A long time.
They all went off the scene for a time, they all back on the scene. What is happening with this organization?
Well, Trailblazers basically started off as a mountain biking club. We used to do, rides, going to scenic places throughout Trinidad, Nolly's Tunnel, the Navet Dam, hiking trails, Comaka Caves, and so on. But over the years, as wear and tear, so to speak, people got married, responsibility, the club members diminished. And for the love of mountain biking, we basically, like a small core group, decided, look, we want to keep the thing going.
Yeah.
So we want to keep not just the name Trailblazers going, but we love the sport, mountain biking. So with that now, we decided, look, even if it is 3, 2, 1 maybe.
One event, sir, yeah.
Yeah, we're going to try and have an event going, and we're going to keep some members in so we can get the thing going.
Right. So the big event is this Sunday, right?
Yeah.
Tell us about the event.
All right, so the event Sunday will be a 5-stage mountain bike series. But last year we had the similar event last year, which was like after 7 or 8 years we did that. So we're coming back with the same event this year, all out the series. That's the name of the event.
Okay.
So this series is going to be different types of riding disciplines, all in mountain biking. But we're going to have it like 3 cross-country circuit races. We're going to have a hill stage. We're going to have a point-to-point.
Okay.
All right? So the first race will already be in Palm East Sunday. And that is a sweetheart course. We call it a sweetheart course because it's a short course. It's 2 kilos.
Yeah, I think I was there a couple of years when you all had
yeah. But this one is much nicer than before.
Okay.
And it's just really nice. Up to yesterday, I was down there. I met a guy training on the course yesterday evening. And he and all was just saying, yeah, this course really nice, but nice. So we want...
nice in the sense of it's easy or...
It's not really easy, but it has its moments.
Okay, okay.
It's not too technical.
Okay.
It have a lot of flats, but very slight climbs, short climb, like a couple seconds.
Yeah.
Down, nice, it's really nice.
Okay.
And then the place is scenic. The view is really nice too, so it's spectator friendly.
Okay. Kenny, the PRO, how are you going about publicizing this event and getting it out there, and what sort of attendance you're looking for?
Well, George, for some time, actually getting the message of Trailblazers out has always been somewhat of a challenge. And we have been talking about it from time to time, to get more into the social media kind of scene. And as a result, we had developed our Facebook page.
Right.
We also, we are looking to get our website up.
Yeah.
It's something we've been talking about for some time. But for the time being, most of the people who are in the fraternity, we get out to them via WhatsApp. Flyers, because you may see some of these flyers for this series about the place. So, and then we sort of depend on the good old word of mouth going around. And as Derek said a while ago, well, to understand that we were off, as you were saying earlier, we were off the scene for a little bit, and we were always branded as this hardcore mountain bike club. So when we came back in last year in Pleasant Spark, we all sat down and decided, look, let's try and develop a course that is a little bit more rider friendly. And maybe if you want to bring your mom to ride, she'll be able to ride.
Okay.
And then we continued with that same step for this year, as Derek now spoke about the course in Palmis as a sweetbread course, which, you know, we try to get all levels of people coming in that will enjoy a day of biking. And as a result, we'll tell a friend, tell another friend. And in addition to that, as I said, we are trying to get our website up, use some of the social media, the Instagrams and the Facebooks. I mean, you know, that's the language that people talk these days. Yep. You know, everybody's on IG, who's on FB. You know, that is what happens. So Trailblazers cannot be left behind. And I always have a slogan that I believe it is always easier to keep up than to catch up. Yeah. So we had to keep up.
Now, I realized that last year, the event I came to had a lot of support from RigTech Sonics. Yeah. There are a lot of Sonics riders. Who are some of the clubs that will be taking part in this event on Sunday?
Well, Sonics is always present.
Yeah.
And I mean, we really appreciate their support because they come from the junior level right down to the
tiny mites.
Little tiny mites, as
the BMX riders.
But we have a number of clubs out of the Port of Spain. We have these
Mountain
Bike Kings. That's a pretty big club too. They are very much involved.
The biggest right now.
Yeah, involved in the mountain bike scene. We're expecting them to be there. We also have another club, Trail Edge, that's from on the northern side of it. Another pretty big club that we're going to be expecting. And then we have some individuals that will and just jump in. Central Spokes, yes, another club. So we're reaching out there. We're getting the message across. And the feedback we are getting even from the competitors are very good. They like our courses. They like the idea that we take them all over Trinidad. I mean, sometimes, like the hill stages, sometimes people on the day of the race might complain, oh God, I was trying to kill we, that kind of thing. But at the end of the day, everybody have a good time. And people usually like the northern clubs. Traditionally, they are in the north. They are in the Chaguaramas and that kind of thing. But when you come to Trailblazers, like last year, for instance, we took them to Point Fortin. And at the end of the race, people were asking, boy, all he does know about these trails, boy, you know? And I say, look, Derek is the man, you know, that is the man who does really go and scout these things out. And this year, not trying to let the cat out of the bag, but for the hill stage, we have a very interesting hill stage lineup for this series. Also, from way back, we had the point-to-point, where we used to start out in Tortuga. This year, we started in Mayo.
Yeah, Mayo, yeah.
And bringing them right back into Pleasant Park. Really nice experience. You go through rural roads, you go through volcano fields, you go through villages. You have a lot of ups, you have a lot of downs, a lot of technical. It's nice, you know. We mix it really nice. So we've seen that competitors are really looking forward to take part in our series, and that augur well for us. You know?
What about finances? How we all manage with sponsors? Because that's one of the major talking points in any thing that you're doing right now, to get people on board to sponsor.
Yeah, well, if you take a look at the history of Trailblazers, we have always had this thing about if you train hard, you invest your time in a good bike, you take time away from your family, when you go to a race, there should be some reward. We thought in our own ways that it is not enough to have an athlete, because that's what they are athletes. We can't have an athlete riding his heart out, and at the end of the day, we just hang a medal around your neck, you know? So we have been reaching out to a number of people, and Derek has a list of them there, year after year, that they contribute, and we are so grateful to them. Of course, I always believe no matter how good you get, you can still do better. We can do better, because there are some things that we have in mind that will really need the input of some corporate body. So I like to call Derek. Derek is the president, as I started off by telling you. I'm the PRO, but Derek is the beggar maid. Derek is the man who does come before you barefooted.
Yeah.
And
he's get through.
And every year. And you know, that's one of the things that the competitors and all, they lament over that, you know. If it's one thing about this club, we always get good prizes. And then last year we introduced the Challenge Trophy, which we actually made out of the ground of Pleasance Park.
Okay.
We call it teak peaks, like pieces of wood from the teak itself.
Yeah.
We took that and make trophies and put by components and thing on it. And it turned out really nice. And those are challenge trophies. You win that challenge trophy 3 years in a row, it's yours to keep. But you bring it back every year until you win it for that 3 years. And we are seeing some things that some people may end up with their challenge trophies. But the test is in the metro. We'll see what happens at the end.
How ready are you all for this Sunday's event?
Well, we're as ready as can be. Of course, at the end of every event or during an event, people may have certain comments to make about this should have been organized better, whatever. But most of the times they're not aware of the amount of logistics that are put in place. So for Sunday, and Derek had suggested earlier on that we kind of jump on it early. So as a result, we have most of it covered. It's just the minor things like maybe Friday, Saturday, we'll go down and finally mark the trail. But we're ready for Sunday.
Derek, how you just find them trail? You just dream them and just get up in the morning and say you're going to look how you just...
First off, is the love for biking. And
don't say the love, Derek, say the passion, because the passion is fella have bad, nah?
Well, I know that because, I mean, to keep him going all these years.
It started way back when I had my first mountain bike. And I always talk about that because that mountain bike was a Huffy. And I had paid $1,000 for that bike then, 1995. And the bike was so good in terms of the quality of the bike. It looked so good that I didn't know much about mountain bikes then. I used to see it on TV and so on. And when I started to learn about mountain bike, I realized my bike is all of that. So I already saying all this to say this, and I had gotten a better bike and happened to sell that bike for the same price. And when I did that and I started to ride all over, I started to, everywhere I ride and going, I look at, I got a track going here. Maybe if I go down this track here, I wonder where I'll come out. And I'll go down the track. And then I started to encourage other people too to do the same. And we started exploring.
Right.
So we found a trail from Pleasance Park straight to Navet Dam. We could take people for a ride from Pleasance Park on at least 85% off-road. Just adjoining through villages and going back into off-road. And all that was done based on the same looking riding, seeing a track here, and just going on in that track.
You never lost?
Well, in Trinidad, it's small, so we just ask where here is. We ask the people in the village where, and they say, well, you can't ride with the bike here. We say, no, where we are here now, where? And they say, well, okay, we're in White Land or in... So that's how we found most of those trails, and then I hiking for about 25 years.
Okay. Yeah.
So being hiking, you're all over Trinidad, you're all over the Northern Range. So combine that, you know.
After this Sunday, what's the next focus for Trailblazers? What's the next step?
The next step, well, because it is a 5-stage series, then we have the other race, which is on the 16th of June. So that one will be the point-to-point. That one coming down from
Mayo. From Mayo.
We start in Mayo village, close to TCL factory there.
Yeah.
And we're going, actually making a run through back to Tortuga, hitting an old cane road, coming back up in the back of my primary school.
Okay.
And then going through Puna and swinging back and coming back up in Tortuga again.
Okay.
And then from Tortuga, we'll be going into Caratal, through an old quarry, a limestone quarry there, under the highway, because I have a tunnel under the highway, onto the NGC pipeline area, just crisscross the pipeline, onto a trail, and then we into Pleasance Park. So that is the next event.
Having run this club for all these years and all these tournaments, what would you like to accomplish at the end of it all? What would you like Trailblazers Mountain Bike Club to be known for?
You know, I was thinking about that just sitting down there just now. I was thinking about that same question. And, you know, listening to the other guys who were here a while ago. And, you know, we was thinking that, you know, to lift the sport itself, mountain biking, following maybe if we could, in the future, we could partner with the Cycling Federation and probably, you know, do the mountain bike events for them and lift the sport to a certain standard, because the passion, as Kenny would say, and I mean, yeah, the passion for the sport is that I want to see the sport reach the level where, for all, you know, coming out of our events, we'll probably have international riders and probably have our own riders that perform in the Olympics or so. You know, not just a trailblazer rider.
Yeah. But do you think mountain bike is a growing sport, or it's still out there playing catch up?
Growing in Trinidad, or
in Trinidad.
Yeah, it is growing. I've seen it over the years though, where we have a whole lot of people, more people riding mountain bikes. And to be honest, it's not being biased, but most people who, if they ask me, you know, I'm interested in riding, I want to buy a bike, I tell them buy a mountain bike. And why is that? Because you have the best of both worlds. Not hitting Trinidad or knocking Trinidad, but some of our roads, especially in the rural areas, are bad roads. And in order to ride proper, you will need some bike to sustain through all those rough landslides and bad roads, right? So it's not knocking the country, but it's a bike too for a beginner, normal person to be comfortable. If you have back issues, a mountain bike is the bike to go. If you are old, well, 58 or 60.
Be careful.
I'm not going to tell you.
Be careful.
We can suggest you use a full suspension bike, so it's like wearing a proper sneakers for running, where the absorption of the shock from the road damages your knees and your backs, So with a full suspension bike for an older person, it will work well for those kind of injuries, you know. So.
All right. Well, we don't have much time again, so I want you to take this opportunity again and remind Trinidad and Tobago about this event, the starting time, the locations, and everything on this Sunday.
Right. So all of the series, Trailblazers is at it again. We are in Palmas Park on Sunday. We want to start promptly at 8 o'clock. Well, you will talk about these sponsors just now. You want to start promptly at 8. And we have a really nice day waiting for you. As Derek said earlier, and I have to re-emphasize, a Sweetbread Trail. It gives you a little bit of everything. And I guarantee that bikers will enjoy Sunday.
Derek, you have 30 seconds.
Right, we'd like to start off by thanking the sponsors. And like I said, they are the lifeblood of almost any event, and they help us over the years too. So this name might really surprise you, but we're really glad this person is on board. Iowa George.
Okay.
All right. So we want to thank Iowa George. We want to thank Mr. Kwashi, Dr. Peter Morris, Brian Alum, Desi, Richard Lichong, Derek Phillip, Screen Text, Kenny Fleming, Annan Low Price, and Digimaniacs. Those are our sponsors for this event.
Well, viewers, remember this Sunday starting promptly at 10, be at Palmas Park.
At 8.
At 8?
At 8.
At 8 o'clock, sorry, at 8. I hope you come to the event late. But right. This Sunday, 8 a.m., come for 7:30. If they have a full crowd, they can start before.
Come on to register.
Yeah, to register and everything. Right, at Palmas Park, Trailblazers Mountain Bike Series 2019, the first stage, you know, and I can tell you, viewers, that I've been to many of these events, and they are well organized, and it's a day that you're really going to enjoy. So please come out and support them.
Yes.
Derek?
Thank you.
Hey, George, it's a pleasure.
Kenny, it's a pleasure.
Yeah, man.
Well, viewers, we have come to the end of another edition of Scoreboard here on ACTN. We hope that you enjoyed our interviews on tonight. And we look forward to you joining us next week, Tuesday, same time, 8 p.m. on this channel. We have some football action for you at 9:30, so keep locked on. Have a blessed week ahead.
Thank you.